I don't give a rat patootie what your choice is. But they don't even know there are any choices. Other than, well, we'll tell you how brave you are, so that ought to get you through. I don't think it fair.
I think that it is pretty sad in this culture that we celebrate life, but we don't celebrate death. And yet death is as much a part of life as being born. So why shouldn't we celebrate both?
At age 48, Susan Suchan was diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's disease. Later, she was told she was going to die. She refused to stop living.
It's a very, very lonely, isolating place to be, watching somebody that you love so much suffer through dementia. You cannot explain to someone what it is like to watch your best friend, your mom, the person who nurtured you, taught you wrong from right, supported you in everything you ever did in life, slowly become a stranger and slowly lose the core of who they are.
Globally, 55 million people have been diagnosed with dementia. It's the world's 7th leading cause of death. 68% of the dead are women. And there is no cure.
It's the most cruel, hideous disease I have ever witnessed in my life.
As it turned out, Susan didn't have early onset Alzheimer's. She had something far worse, FTD, an extremely rare and fast-moving dementia that steals your mind and your soul. And you are fully aware that it's happening.
It didn't make it into the film, but there was a moment when we said, how would you just describe what's going on in your head? She said, well, it's kind of like a worm in your head just munching around. You just never know where it's going to go and what you're left with after it's done. Some days a worm is just, kind of bored and does nothing, and then it gets crazy and all of a sudden all this stuff is missing. And so it's the impact not only on those who are diagnosed with it, but I'm just shocked at how many people are so just completely unaware and have not planned, haven't even thought about someone having dementia and what they're going to have to do.
Documentary filmmaker Russ Kirkpatrick was introduced to Susan 10 years ago, after she had made a name for herself as a warrior for those with dementia, and shared her disintegrating mind by speaking in public. She later opened her life, and what was left of it, to Kirkpatrick and his film crew.
This is a monster. It is a disease. What happens between diagnosis and death, nobody knows. And Susan articulately discusses her journey in that rare window of time, and how we were able to capture this, I don't even know.
The people that I come in contact with, either through Facebook or when we go to these conferences, it sort of takes my breath away to hear the things that they have to say, the way that she's touched their lives, the inspiration, the hope that she gives. I'm just dumbfounded.
Susan eventually moved in with her sister and brother-in-law. She was struggling with remembering basic tasks such as showering.
But here's one thing that concerned me.
What?
I kept waiting for you to rinse your hair.
I did.
No, you didn't.
It's in a towel.
I know, but it's not rinsed.
We gotta do that again?
Maybe we could just lean your head over the kitchen sink and we can rinse and condition.
Right,
Yeah,
there's soap in my
But
hair.
you know what I've noticed a couple of times, Susan, is that you showered, and I know you have, because I can actually stand near you. But your hair looks a little bit greasy, and I'm thinking, well, how she just washed her hair? How come? Now I think I know why. It's the rinsing step.
Oh.
You know the steps that you have to go through?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You missed that step.
It's all good.
My mom before dementia, my very best friend, an amazing, amazing grandma, to the kids. She would read the bedtime stories and pretend she was the monster chasing them through the house. I remember it very clearly. She started just acting a little different. We kind of started thinking maybe she's starting to go through a midlife crisis. But the time that really stands out to me is I was pregnant and I had a miscarriage. I called my mom, so upset, crying, saying, I lost the baby, please come. She just acted like, why would you think I could come? And she wouldn't come. And that was not my mom. My mom, no matter what time it was, she would have been in the car, no questions asked.
Susan went to the doctor in 2006, spooked by her inability to smell a fire that started in her kitchen. 7 years would pass before she was diagnosed with FTD and was told it would kill her.
FTD stands for frontotemporal degeneration. Alzheimer's is more of a memory issue, not being able to remember people, events, names. FTD affects those frontal and temporal lobes. So it tends to deal with your memory, the things that make you you. It affects reasoning. It affects judgment. I think she just gave up and just felt like, well, there's nothing I can do. That only lasted so long because my mom didn't let stuff get her down. And she realized, I'm still alive. I'm still living. I'm not dead yet. She used to say there's diagnosis and there's death, but in between that, there's life. Her goal was to live life to the fullest and help as many other people as possible to find hope, to find their voices, and to live the best life possible.
As time went on, Susan got progressively worse. Her determination deepened to leave this life on her own terms.
I had a friend in one of my peer groups. She had made a date for her exit, and I watched her. You get close to it and you think, no, life sweeps you back out, and she made a date, and the date came. She called me and said, today's not the day. And I breathed such a sigh of relief, and I've come to realize that I'm in that boat. No one can know what's in my head. And I'm gonna have to stand up to the plate. It is not easy. Nobody wants to die. Nobody wants to die. But we know what this is gonna look like.
I totally agreed. I kind of felt the same way on that. You're terminally ill. I didn't want her to write it out to the end. I knew that was going to be extremely painful for her. I was there to support my mom, regardless.
Emily's relationship with her mother was more distant than Heather's bond with Susan. Emily did not want to watch her mother die.
I did not want my memories of my mom to be of those last couple of years. I wanted what memories I did have, that's what I wanted to hold on to. I did not want to see her like that. That's not my mom. That's the disease.
But both sisters wanted to make new memories with Susan while their mother was able to function. They took a road trip to Florida because Susan wanted to see the ocean before she died.
It was beautiful. I think that image right there will stay in my mind forever. The sound, the water feeling, the sand was like powdered sugar in my toes. How could that not be good? It was beautiful. Now I can't figure out how to get back there.
Obviously, we put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into this. I always hear Susan in my ear. She's like, boy, I sure hope this film makes it. And she's like, I sure hope people around the world can see it.
The director hopes Susan will be released later this year.
This is almost like a 5-alarm fire. 55 million people around the world are diagnosed with this. I can't even get my head around it.
Susan Suchan died in 2018 at age 60 of complications from cancer. For more information about dealing with FTD, please visit theaftd.org.